everyone, and welcome to the Book Barn. I'm Lanie, and today I'm joined by my good friend, Melissa. Hello, Melissa.
Hello, Miss Lanie.
I always love it when you come to the Book Barn.
I love coming to the Book Barn.
We are talking about Educated by Tara Westover and One Golden Summer by Carley Fortune. Before we jump into our featured books, what have you been reading lately?
I have been reading our book club books.
That's it.
That's all life has given me time for. But I'm glad because every time I have a book club book to read, I feel like I've succeeded. Like I have done my job. I've done my homework. I'm staying with reading. And so it could be none, So
Sure.
Thank goodness for book club because I've got 2 books under my belt this month.
Awesome. Educated. This memoir follows Tara Westover, who grew up in a strict survivalist family without formal schooling. She worked in her family's junkyard, was raised with folk remedies instead of modern medicine, and eventually taught herself enough to attend college and later earn a PhD from Cambridge University. Melissa, what are your overall thoughts on this book?
It was a book that kept me reading this whole time. I thought it was really good. I expected it to be different than it was. I picked it up thinking it was a nonfiction story, and it just wasn't written in a nonfiction fashion since it was a memoir, and I'm not used to reading those. And so I read it more like it was a fictional story than the memoir that it was, but it was different than I expected. It truly was.
So one of the most shocking things to me was that there was no official record of Tara's birth. Her mother didn't know the children's actual birth dates, and there were no medical records. Just shocking to me.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Do you think it's neglect when parents refuse vaccines or even basic yearly medical checkups for their children?
There are a lot of gray areas in that question. Personally, my family believes in vaccines and medical care. I think vaccinations as a whole provide an umbrella for those who choose not or cannot.
Right. Tara says one of her strongest childhood memories really wasn't a memory at all, just a story repeated so many times that it became real to her. It involved guns and chaos and the feds coming. Do you have any memories from your childhood that may actually just be stories you heard over and over?
Nothing comes to mind. There might be, and I'll keep my ear out for them as they maybe come to light. But how about you?
No, I mean, I do think that things get kind of, the story gets blown up to be bigger than what it actually was. But no, I think all my adventures are true adventures.
I think so too.
For Tara's family, canning season was what other kids considered summer vacation. What's something from your childhood that instantly defines summer for you?
Summertime for me was hanging out with my sister and my cousin for sure. We would be swimming, going to my Aunt Mary's house, and going to cheerleading camp.
Oh, yeah. I did that.
That was it.
For me, it was family vacations. That is one thing my parents did well. They took my sister and I so many places,
I love that.
And our adventures, like I said, some of them they may not be exactly the way I remember them, but the stories are good.
That's right. That's right.
There were so many dangerous moments in this book. No seat belts. Of course, I grew up with no seat belts, but in this day and age, that seems pretty crazy. No car insurance, duct tape boots catching on fire, terrible injuries without medical treatment. What part of the family's lifestyle shocked you the most?
There were definitely a lot to choose from.
Yes.
I think the things that shocked me the most was the dangerous and careless actions in the scrapyard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Dad didn't even bat an eye when his kids fell off, the pallets or got hit with the flying metal pieces. And that was shocking to me.
Yeah, it just seemed to him normal, expected almost.
Keep up or get lost.
Yeah, sad. So let's talk about our brother, Sean. He was terrifying at times. Tara even admitted she feared that if he died, she might feel relief. And then there's the motorcycle accident where she could literally see his brain after the wreck. What were your thoughts on Sean and the family's response to his behavior?
Their response to his behavior was shameful.
It was.
Just despicable. And I can't blame her for saying she would feel relief if he wasn't a part of her life anymore. Because when she would ask for help, there was none. And she was just gaslit into thinking that she was the problem and she was the wrong one. I can't believe they rallied behind him instead of
their daughter. Yeah.
And both daughters.
Right.
Awful.
Right. And even the second daughter, she even walked back her statements because she was terrified,
she was fearful.
think. Yes.
Well, and she heard Tara say something to her daughter and it instantly knew what had happened to her, how she could not be with her, how she could not support her and her memories. Just broke my heart.
Yeah, me too. Tara's father believed formal education was dangerous. What are your thoughts on homeschooling versus public education? And we should probably tell our listeners we are both public educators.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts?
I know a lot of kids who have succeeded and failed in public education. And I've seen the same with homeschooling. At the end of the day, it comes down to the parental effort being made. Obviously, public school works for our family. Ensuring that everyone is educated impacts all of us because of how our voting system works.
Okay. That's a great answer.
Thank you.
Yeah. I put a similar question on our Book Barn Book Club Facebook page, and I'll read what I put on as my answer. I said that as a public school educator, I'll admit that homeschooling isn't usually my first choice. I know some families do it incredibly well, and I respect the care and the commitment that takes. But I also believe there's something deeply valuable about children learning alongside people who are different from them, learning how to work together, showing kindness, and how to navigate disagreements. To me, those things matter just as much as the academics. So I just feel like, and I also know people that homeschool well, but I just think they miss that social part. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah. My sister, she homeschools and she's one of the ones who does it really well. And they also navigate the social part really, really well. And
great.
So it's really admirable. I made a note on a separate note app when I was reading this. And I remember I even called my sister. I was like, listen to this. I was like, they act like they're homeschooling, but they're not doing anything. Then so I wrote on here that I put skills with no knowledge, knowledge with no skills. And so in this case, Tara's got a lot of skills.
She does.
Their family, they have a lot of skills that they can do, but they don't have any knowledge. Their parents didn't even teach her how to read.
Right.
Her siblings did that. But as a public school teacher, I'm getting a lot of kids who have knowledge but no skills.
Sure.
Where they should be learning how to do things and they don't have the confidence in themselves to even try. So,
right.
So I think a lot of it comes down to parenthood.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Because even if you send them to public school, you are their main teacher.
Yes.
So one scene that stood out to me was Tara arriving at university and realizing she didn't even know what the Holocaust was. And I think maybe that might be a problem with homeschooling is I don't know how much of a scope and sequence is followed.
Yeah, I don't know.
So maybe there are some holes that kids aren't learning basic history, possibly. Yeah, maybe. How do you think Tara, being the youngest child, affected her development? Would this story have been different if she had been the oldest?
It definitely would have been different if her birth order was different,
Right.
was in a different spot. She watched her brother go to college, and so she knew it was a possibility for her. And then I think in a different light, when her sister found out she was also being abused by Sean, it should have changed because, the older sister went through it too. She should have had an avenue for Tara to go down, and she didn't. So I wonder if Tara had been the older sibling.
Ooh.
If that would have saved the sister.
Maybe. Oh, good point. Did you have a favorite quote from this book?
I did. I did because I texted it to you. From Tara's college professor, I think, or maybe one of the leaders of her church. It said, "First find out what you are capable of, then decide who you are." And then she applied to a program that she wanted to be a part of. And then this other sentence.
What page are you on?
Oh, sorry. The first one I was on page 230. And then the second one I'm on page 211. And she was having a hard time with her dad being abusive. And she said, "Why did you fight so hard against made-up monsters, but do nothing about the monsters in your own house?"
That is about that's sad.
It was right.
Right. After reading Educated, did your idea of what it means to truly be educated change at all?
I don't think it changed. A long time ago, my dad took me to watch Legally Blonde.
Oh,
theaters.
yes.
Yes. There's a segue, I promise. But in that movie, I remember us leaving and he looked at me and he said, if you take anything from this show, I need you to remember that you can do anything that you put your mind to. And that's exactly what I thought of here. It goes to show that you can do whatever you put your mind to. Education might be the number one way out of poverty. And there are multiple means of success.
And I love that when you see somebody, change their path because they get educated.
Yeah. So. And I don't mean educated as in college. There are
skills.
Yes.
We need plumbers. We need electricians. I need
automotive. Let's do it.
People that can build a solid structure correctly.
Yes. So there are multiple means to being educated. Just pick a path and go down it.
I love that. Okay, now we get to switch gears.
This is exactly how I choose my books. I don't read two of the same style of book in a row. I can't do it.
Okay, I'm glad. No, not typically. I don't. If I'm just choosing for myself, it's rare that I choose nonfiction. Mm-hmm. I do love that our private book club book, which becomes the Book Barn Book Club book. I'm glad that we switch it up and try to do different genres. Mm-hmm. I love that. But no, I love historical fiction.
I love historical fiction.
I do love that.
Yes.
But then I like the fiction, the made up.
I really love historical fiction. I love fictional story. Like this was a Hallmark story, true and true. This one Golden Summer. But I read The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins about a month and a half ago. And
I've heard of that one.
That's a nonfiction that I will tell you that you have to be in a zone for that nonfiction or it's not going to matter to you. You're not going to even want to finish it. I needed to hear The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins.
Fair.
And that's why I'm not doing a lot of audiobooks right now because guess what I'm on? I'm on the Mel Robbins podcast and I'm on Lanie's Book Barn Book Club podcast.
Yes, and please go join her listening to those.
Listen, you put your headphones in and you watch your kids at the pool, you're going to be set all summer.
So we are going to talk about One Golden Summer, which honestly felt like sunshine and lake water in book form. This story follows Alice returning to Barry's Bay with her grandmother Nan after Nan breaks her hip. Alice reconnects with memories from one unforgettable summer and with Charlie, the boy from the famous photograph she took years ago. What did you enjoy most about this story?
The lake.
Yes.
Oh, I want to go. Let's go.
We should go.
Let's go to the lake.
That would be great. Charlie showing up in that yellow speedboat, it felt straight out of a movie. Did that moment feel like fate to you or more like coincidence?
It felt like fate in the story. It was such a predictable moment. We knew it was happening, but we were like, yes, it is happening. Let's get this story started.
So Charlie, he's such an interesting character. He's smooth talking. He's a little arrogant, but he's also incredibly thoughtful. Kind of cute. He buys Alice a smutty birthday book, bakes her a cake, takes care of Nan, and builds a tree house for a baby shower gift to his brother and sister-in-law's baby. What are your overall impressions of Charlie?
Who doesn't love Charlie? He was such a gentleman, playful, a kid at heart. He just needed a family.
He did.
Yeah.
So Nan absolutely stole scenes for me. She guarded her independence like a dragon. She loved memoirs. She liked a little scotch. Thank you, Charlie, for bringing that to her. And reminded Alice that good things happen at the lake. So, did you love her as much as I did?
Nan was my favorite character.
Me too.
And Nanette, like her name being Nanette was, I want a daughter to name her Nanette.
My cousin's name is Annette.
Oh,
very close.
So cute.
Alice prefers being behind the camera instead of in front of it. What do you think her photography says about how she approaches life and relationships?
I think Alice just did what everyone else wanted her to do, and she forgot to stick to what she needed.
That's true.
I'll have to be honest, I wasn't a big Alice fan.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
she did take good care of Nan, though.
She took great care of Nan, and I didn't dislike her as a character, but there were times that I wanted to say, hush, stop.
Okay. Fair enough.
Enough.
Yeah. Alice is able to check off items from her bucket list. These were the things she didn't do when she was younger. Do you have a bucket list?
No. Do you?
I don't think that I do. I mean, I guess there are things like, oh, I'd really love to go to Italy. So does that make it a bucket list item?
I think a bucket list item is something that you can actually check off and you're working towards.
Okay, so no.
I know. But I'd like to make one.
Okay.
I'd like to make a bucket list and
sure.
Start making some plans to doing the things I want to do.
And you should do that.
I don't even know what I want to do.
Well, you still have a few years until your kids are out of the house.
Not what I want at this point. We got a couple more years before Mama
But
can
once
do
you're
what she
retired, which I hate to say that, people shouldn't wait until they're older.
That's the benefit of us being teachers, is that maybe we can start using our summers
to
wisely.
Get those bucket list items. Yeah, I like that. Okay, good idea. We have to talk about some of the fun moments in this book. The jet ski rides. That was fun. Skinny dipping. The raccoons at the outhouse. That wouldn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
Mike and I, we do hike in bear country, so raccoons would not bother me. Charlie brushing Alice's teeth. I listened to this book on audio, and I had to rewind that. Like, did it just say that he brushed her teeth? Nan getting high on junk food night? Yeah. What were some scenes that made you smile?
I just really liked whenever he would remember a bucket list item before she did. So he'd say number 8 or number 13, and she would take her back a little bit.
Which is the reason he bought her a smutty
book.
book. Yes.
And he was even trying to get her to go kiss Harrison because he was a cute guy. And I'm really glad that that didn't go longer.
Yes, me too.
Because I would have been really mad about that.
So my favorite scene, I'm just going to say a little bit of it. Can't give too many spoilers, but the dark room for developing her film.
That was a scene.
Spicy.
It was.
Here's a quote I loved. That's why you should grab onto whatever makes you happy now and hold on for as long as you can. Life's short.
That was a good quote.
Did you have one? A quote from this one?
I did not have a quote from this one.
So, final thoughts on One Golden Summer.
It's the perfect summer read.
I agree. Yeah, lots of fun. So let's rate them, both of them.
Okay.
Educated.
4.
I would give it a 4 as well.
Look at us.
One Golden Summer.
4.5.
Man, you know, we talked about this before we started recording, how when you talk to somebody, it kind of influences you. I was going to give it a 4, but you're not wrong. It was pretty great. So
yeah,
4.5 I think sounds great.
Good.
Yeah,
I'm glad I could influence in a positive way.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I just always love talking to you about books. And thank you to the listeners. And be sure to join the conversation over on our Facebook page. So until next time, I'm Lanie.
And I'm Melissa.
And keep those bookmarks bouncing.